James Joyce, A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. In A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, dive into the compelling journey of Stephen Dedalus as he grapples with the manifold influences of religion, societal norms, and personal desires. Set against the backdrop of a Catholic upbringing in Ireland, the narrative depicts Stephen's evolution from a boy wrestling with guilt and innocence to an adolescent caught between the rigors of religious dogmatism and the allure of sensual freedom. This summary offers insights into Stephen's relentless quest for identity amid a clash of dualities. Experience his intellectual and artistic awakening, exploring themes such as the confines of societal expectations, the nature of personal redemption, and the fervent pursuit of aesthetic beauty. Through Stephen's inner conflict and ultimate embrace of artistic freedom, readers are invited to reflect on the universal question of self-realization amid the ebb and flow of life's demands.
Awakening of Stephen. Growing up in a strict Catholic household, Stephen embarks on a journey of self-discovery shaped by the tension between religious dogma and his personal experiences. Early on, his life is marked by schoolyard adventures, gentle friendships, and the weight of guilt and conformity ingrained by his upbringing. Stephen's first spark of self-awareness ignites at Clongoise, where common acts, like dealing with bullies, prompt musings on justice and fairness. These ponderings mark the initial stirrings of a deeper understanding of the world. Simultaneously, Stephen observes the financial struggles of his father, whose mismanagement of funds leads to Stephen's transfer to Belvedere College in Dublin. This change marks not just a shift in schools, but a profound pivot in Stephen's life. Here, he feels a burgeoning desire for acknowledgement, which finds gratification when he wins a literary prize. Amidst academic achievements, Stephen's curiosity is further piqued by his first bewildering encounter with the opposite sex, stirring emotions he hadn't yet considered. Stephen's teenage years unfold with newfound independence as he explores the streets of Dublin and encounters the complexities of sensuality for the first time. His venture into the red light district, made possible by his prize winnings, is a pivotal moment that introduces him to the dual paths of gratification and guilt. This indulgence leads him to question the rigid moral and religious tenets of his childhood, sparking a profound internal conflict between earthly desires and spiritual obligations. This ongoing inner turmoil becomes a defining theme of Stephen's journey. It underscores the universal struggle between societal expectations and personal urges, a phenomenon often experienced but rarely articulated. Stephen's voyage from the innocence of boyhood to the complexities of adolescence mirrors this inner war, with each life event, from coping with bullying and authority to winning prizes and exploring sensuality, shaping his worldview and identity. Observing Stephen's evolution from a compliant child to a questioning, experimental teenager provides a rich narrative on the human condition. He navigates a labyrinth of pleasure and penance, stitching together a tapestry of self-awareness with every experience. His struggles lay the foundation for a dawning crisis of faith, as the dichotomy between his upbringing and his innate desires generates a resonant symphony of internal conflict. Through Stephen's story, we are reminded of the profound complexity of growing up and the enduring quest for personal truth in the face of societal pressures. Soul's awakening. In the throes of youthful exploration, Stephen treads a path of indulgence, venturing into Dublin's red light district and embracing experiences that starkly deviate from his religious upbringing. This period of rebellion, however, soon engulfs him in an overwhelming sense of guilt and anxiety, as he realizes how far he's strayed from his deeply ingrained beliefs. As he grapples with his wavering faith, a powerful sermon on sin and damnation strikes him profoundly during a spiritual retreat. The depiction of eternal torment rattles him, inciting an existential crisis. Haunted by visions of hell and racked by his sins, Stephen turns to penance, immersing himself in a life of rigorous prayer and harsh self-denial. He abandons earthly pleasures, finding solace in the austere practices of spirituality. His devotion becomes so consuming that he entertains thoughts of joining the clergy, considering a life bound to ecclesiastical service. Yet, as Stephen delves deeper into this devout lifestyle, a niggling doubt begins to surface. Awakening to the realization that his fervor stems more from dread than from conviction, Stephen discerns the absence of true faith in his spiritual journey. His rigorous religious practices feel like chains, much like his earlier indulgence, restricting his essence rather than liberating it. He perceives the teachings of his Catholic faith not as clarifying lenses but as barriers obstructing his view of truth. This epiphany steers Stephen towards introspection, prompting him to question the extremes he has lived by. He understands that neither unchecked sensuality nor relentless asceticism serves his soul's growth. Both represent ends of a spectrum that fails to harmoniously blend his physical and spiritual needs. At a crossroads, Stephen finds himself in a spiritual limbo, torn between worlds, unfulfilled and disenchanted. The vacuum left by his disillusionment, however, births a newfound purpose. Stephen embarks on a journey of creation and self-discovery, shifting away from indulgence and denial towards self-affirmation and artistic expression. As he discards the superficial aspects of his past obsessions, he begins to carve out a space where his body and spirit coexist gracefully, heralding the emergence of the artist within him. Artistic awakening. Yearning for self-expression and self-realization, Stephen finds himself disillusioned by the extremes of religious devotion and sensual pleasure. Breaking free from these constrictive paths leads him to a world shaped by his creative instincts, where the ordinary begins to pulse with life and beauty. A pivotal moment occurs on a beach when Stephen encounters a girl who transforms into a symbol of pure beauty and innocence, sparking his artistic awakening. This shift heightens his senses, sharpens his observations, and deepens his understanding. Stephen's struggle to reconcile his new artistic vision with societal and religious frameworks is profound. Amidst this turmoil, he discovers Aristotle's aesthetic philosophy, which argues that art's role is not to teach or moralize but to convey beauty. This philosophy becomes his guiding light, transitioning his worldview from a binary of good versus evil to a spectrum of beauty found in all aspects of life, even in hardship and sorrow. At university, Stephen's dormant poetic and creative voices begin to emerge. Engaging with his peers helps refine his artistic theories as he writes, not for grades or prayers, but to express and explore his ideas. Creativity becomes an intrinsic joy, unfettered by external validations or spiritual rewards. The once rigid world, bound by religious dogma and societal norms, unfolds into a vibrant canvas of color, filled with endless possibilities. Faced with another crucial choice, Stephen decides whether to live within society's constraints or embrace an artist's life characterized by freedom and perpetual challenge. To the astonishment of his family and friends, he chooses the way of the artist, prioritizing self-expression over conformity. Committed to living independently from others' expectations, Stephen announces his departure from Ireland to freely communicate his thoughts and ideas, a bold choice signifying more than geographical relocation. It marks a profound step into autonomy. Stephen's decision echoes the legendary Greek figure Dedalus, as his ambitions to transcend all limitations symbolized the final transformation into a true artist. This breakout symbolizes not just a departure from old comfortable, familiar securities but an embrace of uncertainties teeming with opportunities to manifest his singular perspective. Standing at the threshold of a journey into an uncharted world, Stephen embodies the essence of an emerging artist. His life transcends mere pleasure-seeking, devoutness, or rebellion. It's a canvas of creation and a relentless quest for truths, the truth of beauty, the truth of existence, and ultimately, the truth of self. Through Stephen's Odyssey, we observe the creation of a profound portrait of a young artist, poised to delve into an unknown world with eager anticipation.
James Joyce's novel, as encapsulated in this summary, vividly captures the intricate dance between societal pressure and individual aspiration through Stephen Dedalus's transformative journey. By traversing the extremes of sensual indulgence and religious fervor, Stephen ultimately discovers his true calling as an artist. His path illustrates the struggle and triumph of self-expression, shedding light on the perennial human quest for meaning beyond superficial frameworks. As Stephen steps into his role as an artist, the narrative underscores the importance of breaking free from binding doctrines to embrace individual truth and creative autonomy. In the end, Stephen's story leaves us pondering the essence of identity, the courage to chart one's own course, and the profound beauty that arises from such a personal exploration. The tale invites readers to see life not as a struggle between right and wrong, but as a continuous, beautiful search for understanding and selfhood.